Hi, I'm going to share with you today the importance of knowing signs and symptoms for strokes, what to do, and what strokes are. First, I would like to go over the different types of strokes. Knowing the signs and symptoms of stroke can prevent death and severe disabilities in loved ones, friends, and even strangers. Knowing these symptoms are very important. The first type of stroke is ischemic stroke. It is caused by a blood clot to the brain, preventing the blood flow of getting to the brain. It usually happens over the span of several hours from the first symptoms noticed. Ischemic strokes can have temporary symptoms known as a transischemic attack, which means that a stroke is soon to follow. They can progress over several hours of a slow span. The second type is a hemorrhagic stroke. They are caused from brain bleeds or bursting of veins in the brain. It usually happens right away, and the symptoms only worsen from the time that it begins, and it happens over a span of hours, but they generally worsen and are the most deadly. Transischemic are the most common, affecting about 8 out of 10 patients, but the hemorrhagic strokes are the most deadly. According to Mount Sinai, strokes are leading cause of death and long-term disability in the United States. So it's very important to recognize these symptoms if you notice a patient with these symptoms, or even a family member. You can save them. The patients who get to the emergency room within 3 hours of showing symptoms have the most best outcome or best possibility of survival and the least amount of disabilities. The strokes, signs and symptoms can include sudden numbness, tingling, and usually with ischemic strokes, if it's on the side of the brain, you're gonna notice drooping or slurred speech, even drooping eyes or drooping parts of the face, numbness on the opposite side, either in the legs and the arms. Patients who also have sudden vision changes, trouble speaking, slurred speech. They also have a hard time understanding and recognizing simple tasks, maybe get a little bit confused or not seem a little foggy with things that they typically would not. So if you see a loved one whose slurred speech, side of the mouth is kind of drooping, or maybe they're complaining of, one side, maybe tingling in the arm or in the legs, it's important to get them to the emergency room as fast as possible. Balance or walking issues. Sudden severe headache. With the hemorrhagic strokes, you're going to also have severe headaches maybe in one certain spot of the brain. They can also have nausea, vomiting, dizziness, neck stiffness, and even changes in their mental state, such as irritability, or their attitude is just very, very irritable or odd compared to how they normally would. The American Heart Association recommends the acronym FAST. So if you see face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, it's time to call 911. Get them to the emergency room as fast as possible to prevent that. With strokes, the longer they are having these symptoms, the more brain damage that can happen. So this is why it's urgent to get them to emergency help. Knowing and recognizing these signs and symptoms, memorizing them can save a life and also prevent or limit the amount of disabilities a patient can have or a person can end up with. Is very important. Remember, in 3 hours, they can be dead or even have severe disability, long-term disability. Know these symptoms, recognize them, and you could save your family. My name is Megan Williams. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope that this information can prevent or even help someone in the future. Thank you.